We're Nat and James, and this is our sailboat Zephyr. She's taken us all over the world and been our home for 3.5 years. With over 20,000 nautical miles under her keel and our sights firmly set on sailing around the world, we are on a mission to make some vital upgrades and much needed repairs. So join us every week for a new video. If you would like to support our journey, a great way is by clicking the subscribe button. Enjoy the video, guys.
Well, good afternoon everybody. It's the next day after our huge lithium battery install, and we're still on the power theme. So just to give you a little insight, with our new lithium battery bank, which is more than 3 times the size of our other battery bank that we had, we need a bigger way of charging it. So we're upgrading our solar. Now, we've been looking for new panels to buy for a while, and it's been tricky because we wanted to find something that would fit our arch without having to add 4, 5, 6 panels. So we were looking for ages, and eventually found a really cool company that had the exact type of panel we were looking for, and they're called SunPower. From SunPowered Yachts, we've gone with the 410 watt fixed frame solar panel, which is made from the latest Maxeon Gen 5 prime back contact cells, which are 65% larger than the previous Gen 3 cells. First up, we need to mark and drill our holes for our U-bolt brackets. Alright guys, that's it. The holes are drilled. Now we can take it up and stick it up on top of the rack. Alright guys, we're starting to run out of light, but as you can see, I've just lifted the second panel up there. I'm going to bolt these on quickly and then pop the connectors together, and that's it. So as you can see, the panels are installed. They look fantastic. The sun is shining. They're cranking out some power right now. So we've gone for the same setup as before. Each panel is attached to the solar arch with U-bolt brackets. There's 4 per panel, so they are super secure. They aren't going anywhere. These panels are actually almost the exact same footprint as our previous panels. So our previous panels were 250 watts each, poly panels, okay? And they didn't have any of that technology built into them where, you know, if you get a shadow line, like for example, you see how my hand is going across, creating a shadow, or, you know, the lines of the rigging, or for some boats, depending on where the panels are, the boom might create a shadow. It would kill basically almost the entire panel. It was kind of crazy. With these panels, we have now upgraded to 410 watt panels from our 250 watt panels. So we've gone from 500 watts up to 820 watts with almost the exact same footprint. So these are only 1 inch wider than our previous panels and 6 inches longer. So, I mean, to get that much more power out of a slightly larger footprint is incredible. I mean, the guys at SunPower have done such an incredible job making amazing panels. What is up everyone? We are here working on the transom again. So today is the big day. We are cutting the shape. So quick recap, where are we at? So we have our core, we've put 2 layers of glass on either side. I screwed up 1 layer and had to patch some spots, but it's all good. And now, as I said, we're gonna cut the shape. We have taken a template of the transom, transferred that template, as you can see here, to the board. And now we're gonna cut it. There you go, guys. We cut it out. Not too bad. It's gonna take a lot of sanding, but looks pretty good, everyone. So we cut our shape. And now I thought I'd take a chance just to tell you a little bit more about what we're doing here. And I think I've mentioned in the past, but quick little recap. So we're using a material for our core called Nidoplast. It's like a honeycomb core. We're using 1-inch thick Nidoplast. And then we put 2 layers of glass, 1708 on either side. So now that we've cut the shape, the next steps is I'm gonna take this over to the transom and we're gonna now work on getting the exact shape that we need for this. Let's see if I've really just totally botched this up. All right, everyone, I am so happy and probably more relieved than anything, but I've just slotted it in just roughly and it fits like a glove. I cannot believe it. I was so nervous because, you know, this stuff is expensive. Like this Nidoplast, if you look it up online, it is not cheap. And, you know, we're a very budget sailing channel, so investing in a project like this where I've done no fiberglassing, no building really of any sort on a sailboat before was a big ask. And I thought I was gonna make a piece of bacon. I was literally expecting it to be off all over the place. Wow, heart was pumping when I was putting it in. Oh my God, was it gonna fit? Was it not gonna fit? Is it gonna be curve gonna be all off? Because, you know, you've got the curve of the transom going this way, you've got the curve of the transom going this way, and then you have the curve of the transom going this way. So there were so many angles to play with, and oh my God, I'm so freaking happy. I'm definitely having a beer tonight for that one. All right, so we're starting the sanding process as we said. Here's our board. She's sitting here. Now, I have marked up a true line that reflects exactly like the precise edge of what we need to achieve on the board here. You can see the black line kind of dips and weaves and all that. That's obviously because my cutting wasn't entirely straight, which we knew would happen. So now I've got a big Durablock. Basically, the idea with this big long flat piece is that we reduce the chances of getting any dips in our sanding process. Woo! Wow, that was much harder than I thought it was going to be, but the results are incredible. Look at this. Beautiful straight edges. We've got this beautiful curved lines. So the hard work was definitely worth it. Do all the hard work now, get this absolutely perfect, and then that will obviously transfer forward into the next step of the process. What is up, everybody? We are here following day. We are still working on our transom and it's starting to look pretty damn good. So as you recall, yesterday we sanded all of the curved edges, and now today we are going to cut the top off of the transom here. So I've been over, I've set the space. We got a 10 mil gap all around, and now I've got my height of where I need the transom to be. I've marked that off. I've had Tucker help me chalk line this thing. We got a nice straight line, and now we're just going to cut it off. There you go, not too bad. We've cut it off pretty straight. I wandered a little bit in a couple spots, but you know what? That's what the sanding block's for. So we're gonna do exactly what we did yesterday. Get that 40 grit on that big long sanding block. Get this nice and smooth, get a nice sharp edge, and then we'll start decoring. Now, as I said, we are going to decore the edge. And what I mean by that is we are gonna create a small cavity about 1/2 inch deep all around the edge. And the idea behind that is we are going to make these edges extra strong. So as I said, so we are going to decore about 1/2 inch in, and then after that, we are going to start filling it with some resin, thickened resin, and a special type of fiberglass. To decore this, we are going to use a router. And the idea is that the little pulley here on the bottom will run along the edge, and this will core out half of the thickness of the transom, and then we'll flip the transom over and do the other half. All right guys, so how are we gonna do this edge? I'll tell you what. So what we're gonna do is we are going to mix up a batch of thickened resin. We're gonna use some cotton flock, some silica, make it real thick, kind of like a peanut butter consistency. We're gonna fill that edge all the way around with that thickened resin. Then we're gonna mix up another batch of resin, no cotton flock, nothing like that, just a normal batch. And we are gonna wet out our unidirectional glass here. And then we are gonna roll that glass as tight as possible. And we're gonna take that and we're gonna stuff it in the edge all the way around. And then we'll take another batch of thickened resin and we will put that over top of that, pack it all in there nice and tight. And that is just gonna add a tremendous amount of strength and rigidity to our already super strong and rigid swim platform. So let's get mixing. So that's it. We're gonna do, I think, 16 ounces of resin for our wetting out of the glass. I think that should be more than sufficient. Thinking maybe I should do 32 ounces. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna mix up 32 just to be on the safe side. All right, so our other bucket here, which is gonna be for our thickened resin, I'm going with 32 ounces as well. I think that's gonna be plenty. So before we catalyze our thickened, we will put in our cotton flock and our silica. So I'm just going to start thickening this now. So I'll add some cotton flock and then I'll add some silica. All right guys, so we have finished doing the edges here. It was pretty good actually. It went better than I thought. The first edge here, the 8-foot edge, was sort of like a feeling out process. Went pretty good. Then the 12-foot edge went perfect. Yeah, now we just have to wait for it to cure. I'm gonna clean up here and yeah, and then we'll see what happens tomorrow morning. We should be ready to start sanding it.